What's good, guys? Welcome to another video, and as you can see from the title of this video, today we're going to talk about the difference between NoFap and semen retention. There's actually quite a big of a difference between these two practices, but at the end of the video you will know the exact difference, how it can be so powerful for your life, and which one you can choose in order to propel your life in any direction you want. So before we're gonna hop into the video, if you like this type of content, please subscribe, like the video, and feel free to follow me on Instagram. It's in the description link down below. Let's hop into it. So we have two practices. You see, we have NoFap and semen retention, and maybe you thought, you know what, it's the exact same thing. But I do think it's quite important to understand the difference, because when you have an intention going into something, it can really give you so many more benefits from the practice. And every time, whenever you have a strong intention behind something and you know why you're doing it and you have clarity on what's gonna happen, it's going to be extremely powerful for your personal and spiritual growth. So we're first gonna hop into NoFap. What is NoFap and why do men hop on NoFap? So what NoFap is, it simply means that you no longer masturbate and no longer watch any pornography. And this practice will drastically help men that struggle with something like pornography, or overall they are not in control of their own desires. They are not in control of their own addictions, and they're constantly falling back into low-level behavior that keeps them stuck, and they are not able to, let's say, talk to women or be confident in the outer world. If that is something you struggle with and you struggle with pornography, NoFap is obviously going to be extremely powerful. And actually, a lot of times when men hop on NoFap, a lot of times the reason men hop on NoFap is because they actually want to meet a woman in real life for once, because they didn't have the confidence prior to that. So that might even be the goal with NoFap, to finally, get a woman attracted to you, because back in the day you were always feeling low, you were addicted to low-level behavior, you couldn't leave the house, and you just felt low about yourself. So if you are in that place, NoFap is going to be amazing, because what it's going to do, it's going to rewire your brain and your dopamine receptors in order to function properly again, in order to find joy in smaller things, in order to just be able to talk to people again and to build stronger relationships. So the primary focus of NoFap is to eliminate bad habits like watching pornography and just refraining, especially from masturbation altogether. No more fapping, not at all. That is the whole point of NoFap. And what I see as well is that a lot of times when someone hops on NoFap, it's the start of their self-development journey. This was the case for me personally as well. Back in the day, 5 years ago, I started off with NoFap. I started off with, hold on, I have a lot of social anxiety, I feel insecure around women, and now I'm gonna hop on NoFap, I'm gonna quit watching the dirty websites. And I did so, and the whole point for me was not necessarily to transmute my sexual energy or to really channel this sexual energy into something greater. No, my whole point was just being able to speak to women confidently. Also, I'm gonna be totally honest, sleeping with a lot of women, all that stuff. That's where I was at the point, and NoFap helped me overcome that problem. Now, I'm definitely not saying that this is what you want to do, because I no longer do this. I'm no longer interested in this because I've overcome this phase. But if you are in that phase, it can be extremely powerful, because me doing this practice gave me a lot of inner strength and a lot of confidence to overcome my problems at that point. So NoFap doesn't necessarily mean you no longer have any sexual activity with anyone, and actually neither does semen retention. We'll get into that, but it's not the main concern. The main concern of NoFap is to rewire your brain so you're able to just function properly, and you just reset your dopamine receptors in order to no longer be indulging in low-level behavior and bad habits. So now when we go to semen retention, it's a bit of a different story, you see. When you open semen retention, it's not necessarily about no longer watching pornography or any of those things, and it might not even be woman attraction anymore, because semen retention is actually associated with Eastern religions, Eastern philosophies, and it's also associated with channeling your sexual energy, building up your sexual energy and transmuting it into something higher. So that can be your goals, but that can also be God's spiritual growth. It's extremely powerful, and that is the main focus of semen retention. It's all about building up this sexual energy within yourself, being able to handle it and transmute it into something higher. And when we look at NoFap, the sexual energy you're building up isn't valued as much. The main concern of NoFap is that you just want to rewire your brain so you're no longer in these low-level behaviors. The main concern of semen retention is that you're building up your sexual energy and you're able to transmute it and move it through your body and transmute it into things you want to either achieve or grow. Any personal and spiritual growth will be enhanced as well. It's really about diving deep into your sexual energy. What is it, right? And you understand that your sexual energy is your creative energy, your life force, your spiritual energy. And even Napoleon Hill quoted this, and he was specifically talking about semen retention. There has never been and will never be a great leader, builder, or artist lacking in the driving force of sex. He understood as well that your sexual energy is the most powerful energy you possess as a man as well as a woman. If you're able to retain this and if you're able to transmute this properly, you are able to build great things for yourself. So when we hop on something like semen retention, that can be the primary focus. It's to transmute, once again, this energy into another energy, creative energy, life energy, all these things. Because your sexual energy and your sexual desire is the most powerful energy of a human being. And if you really understand this, and once again, if you are able to control this desire, the strongest desire within yourself, you really start to build a lot of energy, a lot of momentum and focus within yourself that you can use into any aspect you want. So a big misconception many men have is that when you're on semen retention, you can no longer have sex with anyone. That is not necessarily true. And being on semen retention neither means abstaining for as long as possible. When you're on semen retention, it's mainly about just being conscious about your sexual energy. So yes, you can still have sex with your partner if you want to, but now you might consciously choose to release. Now you might consciously choose or just have a certain cycle in place, and you might practice something like non-ejaculatory sex, where you're able to just continue to last without the need to even ejaculate in the first place. That is truly powerful as well. Whether you want to do this or not, that is totally up to you. I just get this question a lot of times of like, I want to be on semen retention, but I'm in a relationship, so I can't do it. Actually, you can do it. It's just understanding that semen retention doesn't necessarily mean never busting a nut again. Once again, it can mean that if you want to do this, but it's mainly all about transmuting and being conscious of your sexual energy. So now that you understand the difference between NoFap and semen retention, now it's just up to you to choose which one you want to do. Maybe you don't want to do any of them, maybe you're just interested in this, it's all up to you, it's all personal preference. We're all on our own path, on our own journey, and all of us are in a different phase. Personally now, I mainly use semen retention for spiritual growth, as this is my highest aim. Because throughout my journey, throughout going through a lot of materialistic things, through starting at NoFap and starting at I just want to be able to talk to women, I just want to be confident again, right? You move through these problems and you move further and further, and those problems are no longer a thing for me anymore. And as I move through this journey, I start to realize that there is no higher fulfillment than feeling God's love within yourself, than feeling the love of God. It doesn't compare to anything you can ever attain in the external world. Now, once again, that doesn't mean that is something you need to use semen retention for. Currently, that is something I use it for. I just wanted to give this example that it can truly be used for every single thing. Next to that, I use it to build my business. I use it to become more focused. And obviously, it just gives me a lot of inner peace throughout my day because my mind is no longer all over the place and it's just very calm. It's very subtle. And I really like that. You see, I no longer need much from the outer world to make me happy, and that is something I've been able to do through semen retention. So it can really give you a lot of benefits as long as you know the intention behind why you're doing it. So guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.